Hey, what's up everybody? It's ChronoFox and welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Last time, we wrapped up everything in the world of the Bionis and Mechonis. And this time, we're moving over to the extra story. So, goodbye to the base game of Xenoblade Chronicles, and I bid you all welcome to my Let's Play of Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. For those of you unaware, Future Connected is an extra story mode that was attached to Definitive Edition. In fact, this was the main selling point of Definitive Edition. This is available right from the get-go, right when you buy it. So you don't need to complete the main story again in order to play this. For those of you who bought this primarily for Future Connected. So there's no Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe Edition nonsense. And also, this is basically made in the same style as, say, Xenoblade 2 Torn of the Golden Country or Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed. It's basically a shorter, smaller story that's meant to add a little bit more to the story. Though, unlike those other extra stories which acted as prequels, this primarily acts as an epilogue. Just something to kind of explain a little bit more what happened to the characters in the aftermath. Particularly Melia, who arguably had the least amount of closure out of all the characters from the base game. But with that said, if you are joining me and haven't watched everything involving the base game beforehand, I would recommend you familiarize yourself with the base game's story, as there are spoilers even within the first couple seconds of this game starting. So if you have not familiarized yourself with the story, either look up a list, either watch a compilation of all the story cutscenes, or watch my Let's Play of the base game, which I just barely wrapped up. Not the whole thing. I know most people probably don't have time for a 100+ episode thing, but you can probably skip around to the ones that focus on the story. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected.
That symbol. Today, we use our power to fell a god, and then seize our destiny! All that I am is fading. The memory of a god's existence, born from the chaos of creation. It is vanishing.
What were you looking at? The sea?
I wasn't looking at anything in particular. If anything, Fiora, I was thinking about the future that awaits us all.
There it is.
Melia, we're in sight of Alchemar.
All right, I'm on my way.
Welcome to Biona's Shoulder.
Phew. Guess we're still in one piece.
Quite. What in the world was that?
It happened so quickly that I didn't get a good look myself. I saw some flickering around the capital. Then suddenly, a black beam.
A black beam? Some new defensive measure, perhaps. The junks. Can it fly?
Some components sustained heavy damage. It won't budge until we can swap them out.
Right.
It's fine. They're not particularly rare parts. They'll have them in Alchemoth.
You make it sound very simple. Remember, we are still very much in the dark here.
Good thing I came prepared. We'll probably be needing this.
Sister Bond, watch out on right! I take care of it. Kino handle left side. Got you!
Those voices.
Are those? It's Kino and Nene. What are they doing here?
Shulk, we must help them.
Of course.
Gameplay differences. So yeah, even though a lot of the stuff from this game is actually kind of copy and pasted from the base game, there are a couple of changes. First of all, chain attacks no longer exist. They are replaced by something else, but we'll get into that when we actually unlock it. Visions are no longer a part of the game. You just have to deal with the enemies and just hope that either you evade or you see the attack just in time to react to it. And on top of that, there's a couple other things, like the skill tree system does not exist anymore, and on top of that, there's no more affinity. And right off the bat, I want to swap out around a couple things, particularly with arts. So, first of all our characters have been leveled down to level 60. I mean, I guess after a year of not fighting, I guess going from level 90 something to 60 does make sense. And what I want to do is I want to swap out, well, hang on a sec. I'll just pause and just show you what I swapped around. Okay, this is what I have. This is not going to be my permanent stuff, but it is going to be what I'm going to use for this first battle. The other thing to note is that Shulk has pretty much the exact same arts as last time, except for one noticeable change. He is missing one of his Monado arts, specifically Monado Enchant. Seeing how there's no more Mechon, that art is no longer needed and therefore no longer exists. He has every other art, but he is missing Monado Enchant. Alright, the only other things to note are the armor equipment stuff, as well as the fact that Melia is wielding what's known as the World Ender, which is very cool. Like, that almost looks like a Monado in it, like a Monado staff, which is pretty cool in my book. And Shulk is wielding the Monado Replica EX, or Monado Rex. I like it. I like it a lot. Basically, it's stats-wise pretty much identical to the regular Replica Monado from the base game. And he's also wearing a noise suppressor which has lock-on resist too. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and swim over to the little commotion across the water. Melia, I know you're not all that athletic, but come on, could you swim a little faster? Come on. Alright.
Who next in line to get face full of mild Rifle of Kino got blabble blab!
Kino, Nene, are you hurt?
Let us help too.
Miss Melia, Mr. Shook! Help very welcome. More is always merrier.
Do 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 do. Well, you know what they say. Time to summon Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh, I've been waiting forever to do this joke. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're gonna be fighting these wolves here. They're not gonna pose too much of a threat. Let's see. Gonna do a summon bolts. Unleash that against that wolf, and summon copy. So I can take out this last wolf. There we go.
Big sis, we did it! Job is good one, Kino.
That was amazing, you two. It was like seeing Ryan and Sharla fighting together again.
Just so. Fitting. For children of here upon Ricky's household. No injuries, Kino?
Nene, very, very sorry. Kino, not so good with strangers.
Oh, really? Most interesting.
Please do not take personally.
If we stay here, there is a risk of another attack. We should move to a safer location.
Very well. Is this acceptable?
Plenty acceptable.
Right. Let's go. This place looks promising. We can take a break here.
So tell us, what were you two doing out there? Rather, how did you even get here at all?
About that.
Melia, I think these two must have come on the junks.
What? Are you quite sure, Shulk?
When you consider their relative positions, I think it's quite credible.
The capital, on the Bionis shoulder.
So,
Ah. So that is where the junks comes in then. I appreciate it. But even though we won peace with Zanz's defeat, the rebuilding continues. Much remains to be done.
I realize that. And I also know that you've been putting in every effort.
So why then?
If the capital is on the shoulder, there are people there. I thought you'd want to go.
Shulk. That's...
We could be there and back in less than half a day.
Mama? Me. Kino, maybe better to explain. Mama, we're just on a little strolly stroll when we suddenly hear voices. Now, Kino. Nene watch Kino with eyes of Rogel. Kino, follow Mr. Schultz from behind and do some sneak peekings. Mama, Sister Pon followed Kino and sneak peek on too. Meh.
So you stowed away like I thought. But what for?
Kino always look up to Dadapon. Want to become mighty Heropon too.
I'm certain Ricky would be most proud. But how did that lead to you boarding our vessel?
He see opportunity to help people who in trouble. That way can become friends with people everywhere. Mighty Heropon make friends with every toe step. Or so Dadapon say, at least.
I see. That does explain things.
Many sorries. It's not fault of Sister Pon. Please not scold Nene. Fault is of Kino only. Kino. Sincere sorries. Kino wanted to repay debt. Dadapon and Momapon take Kino in when Kino all alone.
You were alone?
It's truth. One day, out of blue, Dadapon bring Kino home. Said, here is Brotherpon. That day, nobody make comment. Everyone except Kino. Kino, more happy they could say. That why. That way want to become Heropon and repay debt to family. You're really sorry.
Kino, you do your family honor. Yours is a most noble sentiment. I am utterly certain that Ricky and Oka are proud of you too.
Actually, Melia and I are in a bit of trouble right now. We could use the help.
For really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Kino must. You really twist wing. But fine, we'll allow to be sidekicks of Kino. Kino? Wrong word. Supposed to say friends.
So, we'll be heading for the capital to find parts for the junks.
Yes, about that. It's a bit of a hike, but could we check out that cape?
Explain.
I'm a bit concerned. What you said about defensive measures.
You fear we may come under fire again. Is that it?
Yeah.
It is true. Caution frequently pays off in the long run. The cape it is.
Great. It's settled.
Legend of Heropon Kino! It all starts here! Mahey!
The event theater has been opened. Basically allows you to preview any previous cutscenes, in any weather condition or in any appearance. So that scene is very sweet. I like that the Kino is like, I want to repay my dad. I want to prove my worth. Even though, honestly, he didn't really need, even though he doesn't really need to. I mean, Ricky just adopted him out of the blue and just wanted to give him a proper home. Heck. What's target to be? Oh, hi. And Enzo, and I do not have my usual setup, so this is probably going to be a struggle. But anyways, yeah, Ricky just kind of adopted Kino out of the kindness of his heart. He doesn't really need to prove himself worthy, but the fact that he's willing to try and do that is pretty sweet, and I like that. And also, Ricky had 14 kids, and he just casually adopts a 15th. Potentially 16th if he actually followed through and actually adopted Shulk like he wanted to in that one heart-to-heart from the base game. Dude's a freaking Chad, and I love him for that. Even when he's not in the game itself, he's still one of the best characters. I love him. Alright, anyways, oh, well, this is, well, crud. Come on, up. Nene, if you could yeah, and this kind of leads into one of my things about Future Connected right off the bat. It's dang hard. Oh, quiet moments. Get to know each other in the quiet moments. These are basically Future Connected's version of heart-to-hearts, except they're completely voice acted and you do not, like, select different dialogue options. They're just merely mini cutscenes, which I am so appreciative of. One of my biggest struggles when it came to playing through the base game and making videos for those is constantly checking over my notes and making sure that I pick the right options for the heart-to-hearts. Like, that was one of my biggest struggles when making the series initially. Anyways, what was I saying earlier? Oh yeah. Future Connected is significantly harder than the previous Xenoblades. Or significantly harder than the base game And I think most of that comes down to a couple things. One is you don't have as much access to healing. In fact, Kino, who is our healer, is actually valuable. This and both Xenoblade 3 and Future Redeemed are like the only Xenoblades where I think the healer is actually valuable. Because the base game of 1 and both versions of 2, the healer is not all that important because there's alternate ways of healing. But this is actually the very first Xenoblade thing where I think the healer is actually kind of important. So I immediately appreciate that when it comes to this game. And don't worry, even though personally I'm not the biggest fan of Future Connected, in fact I think this is the absolute worst Xenoblade content. At least out of all I played, again, I've never actually played Xenoblade X, so I can't exactly give my opinion on that and fully confirm that that's the full truth, but considering that most of the other fan base tend to say that this is the worst one, I think I'm pretty safe in giving that opinion. But I will try to speak as much to the positives as I can, because honestly, even though this is the worst Xenoblade, I still largely like it. And I think it still has a lot of really cool and really neat things about it. It's just bogged down for a couple of problems, as well as the fact that I do hold Xenoblade to a very high standard. Even the extra stories, like, dude, if you've never played Torna the Golden Country, I highly recommend you do. It's genuinely one of the greatest video games ever made. It's tied with Majora's Mask as my favorite game of all time. Like, that's how good these DLCs can be. But this one doesn't have that much, it's not as good as some of the others, so whatever. I'll get into why this is probably the case a little later, but for now, let's view this little quiet moment.
These flowers, don't they smell heavenly?
Miss Melia is big fan of flowers?
Yes, because of my mother. When I was young, she often asked for my help with the villa's flower beds. How about you, Nene?
Nene also loves flowers very much.
I see. Then we have something in common. Before, when I spoke of them to a Homs friend. She said flowers are nice, but nothing beats a warm dinner. I got no understanding from her. Finally, fate sent me someone I can communicate with.
What Miss Melia say about dinner?
Oh, just talking to myself. The dinner part wasn't really relevant.
But Nene, big fan of dinner too. Most of all, pollen orbs from factory in Frontier Village. They so very soft and so yummy scrummy.
Look, that's not... Hold on.
Meme?
When you said you love flowers, did you mean as a foodstuff?
Meh? There is meaning other than?
Ugh, I should have known. You're one of them. Nene, listen. Flowers are not simply special because they can be eaten. We can admire their beauty, or use them to create ornaments and works of art. And that is a great part of their charm.
Ornaments. Meme! Oh yes, Nene, remember? Long ago, Dadapon make Mamapon flower crown for giver's gift.
Ricky did that. That Nopon has hidden depths. In any case, I would like it if you also had an interest in inedible flowers. If you did, then you too, just like your mother in her own day, may know the joy she felt.
Okay, the next time Nene find flowers that cannot eat, Nene will make pretty flower crown for Miss Melia.
Huh?
To eyes and Nene, Miss Melia look most bestest in blue. What think?
While I appreciate the offer greatly, weren't you originally of the regarding flowers as food persuasion?
Meh? If you make pollen orbs from not eatable flowers, they bitter and not tasty.
Yes, a fair point. It is just as you say. So Nopon see different but equal value in flowers depending on whether they're edible. Maybe it was foolish in the first place to try and choose only one while discounting the other. Well then, I will humbly accept the sign of your affection.
Nene, roger that.
And yet, why do it for me? And won't Kino and Shulk feel left out?
There is very good reason. Nene just want to see smiling face of Miss Melia, bright as sun rays.
Oh my.
Meme? Something wrong? Nene, not say anything weird?
No, not at all. It was just how sincerely you said it. I should take a leaf out of your book.
Meh?
Precious Nene, I look forward to the gift.
Nene pull out all stops.
Although, I would feel a bit awkward were I the only one to wear one. Why don't we make them together and exchange them afterwards?
Meme? That sound wonder marvelicious. Is deal. No, in fact, is unbreakable promise.
Yes, naturally.
That scene was adorable. I love that so much. Again, a lot of the best stuff when it comes to Xenoblade is in the side content, and these little quiet moments are a prime example of that. Navir Highland. And there's a little item orb, and just like in the base game, there is a collectopedia. And don't worry, it's not that bad. In fact, there's only 2 collectopedia pages in the entirety of Future Connected, and it's pretty easy to fill out. In fact, there's only like 2 items total in the collectopedia that I consider hard to get. So don't worry too much about that. And with that, this is also going to be a 100% playthrough just like with the base game. Though, don't worry too much, because Future Connected is really short. Like, I think on my first 100% playthrough, I completed it in like 20 hours. So I don't expect like more than maybe 20 videos on this series. So don't worry too much. I I guess now I could probably talk a little bit about just general thoughts about Future Connected, since or at least explain a little bit about the potential reason why this one doesn't have as much effort put into it as, say, Torna. I think a lot of that has to deal with the fact that this game was also being made roughly around the same time that production for Xenoblade 3 was taking place, so they didn't want to put too many resources into making Future Connected. So because of that, a lot of stuff is copy and pasted. Heck, even the Biona shoulder itself was actually a test map in Xenoblade 1. It's actually a part of unused content. But they finally just brought it back after so many fans requested it for so long. So, that might explain why. Anyways, welcome to Companion's Game.
Many bird people here.
Are there really only high-end here living here?
Oh there, strangers.
Oh, hello.
I see. You've had a rough time of it. However, I suggest you steer clear of Alchemoth. Even if you do somehow get there in one piece, don't expect the transporters to be running.
Oh? Why's that?
The thing that shot at you was no defense platform. It was a monster we've taken to calling the Fog King.
The Fog King?
Yeah. Suddenly showed up in Alchemoth a few months back.
From what I gather, you're from the Imperial Guard. Are the swords you carry just for show?
Taking a sword to it is folly. It laughs at our attacks. It's like hacking at smoke. Blows pass clean through it.
Must be Ghost. Ghost not shoot beams, dum-dum.
So that's why you call it the Fog King?
We fought in defense of our home. We were ready to die, and many of us did. But in the end, it won us nothing at all. The Fog King's attacks tore into us hard. Eventually, we gathered the High Entia and anyone else we found, and gave up the capital, so that we might live.
How awful.
My grieving heart belongs there. Our heartland, our capital. Yet I cannot even mourn it.
Maxis,
Huh? Yes?
please, you have to tell us how to get inside.
Shulk, be serious.
Boy, are you hard of hearing?
I heard you.
Then you should know better.
No matter the situation, we have to go. If I fix the junks, we can all leave this place. Then, once we're in Colony 9, we can make plans to retake Alchemoth.
No point.
Why not?
Shulk, do you think we took all that lying down?
Huh?
We're not stupid, you know. We did all we could. It's true. I want to go home. But that's a dream that won't come to pass, and it already cost too many lives.
Maxis.
I understand where you're coming from. Still, I have to be blunt with you. Let it go.
Now what?
Judging from the speech, I can't see us convincing him.
So this mean we're stuck here?
Quite a predicament, Empress Melia.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
I humbly beg your pardon. Gelgar, at your majesty's service.
Give me a second. Okay, let's continue.
Formerly of the Personal Protection Division of the Alchemoth Guard Regiment.
Is that so? Then the pardon is mine to beg, Sir Gelgar. And please, dispense with the majesty.
Perish the thought, your majesty. The recent war has rid us of the wicked purebloods. A new age dawns, and we half-breeds are chosen for its caretakers. With you, Lady Melia, as our shining paragon, I cannot but address you as Majesty.
I have no patience for wheedling. Especially from knaves who spit on their ancestors.
I would never dream of doing such. I merely spoke plain truth, no more.
As you wish. But the Majesty address is burdensome to me.
If you absolutely insist. Until you deign to acquiesce, Lady Melia will have to suffice.
So kind, Sir Gelgar.
Make no mention of it, Lady Melia.
Sir Gelgar, we really need to get to Alchemoth, no matter what.
Ah, yes. I have heard your exchange with Maxis. Hindering the Empress's triumph. A narrow-minded fool, if ever there was one. To begin the authentication process, one must raise their hand to the transporter. The device is configured in such a way that only some of the High Entia in this land and the Imperial family may pass. Hence, Lady Melia should not have the slightest issue activating it.
A similar mechanism to the tombs, then?
That's our ticket into Alchemoth.
Yes.
Tasty news! Friend Gelgar is good friend! Kind thanks, Birdmister.
Not at all. I am but a humble servant in Lady Melia's employ. If it not displease my ladyship too grossly, may I offer you my companionship on your journey?
No.
I have a modicum of skill with the blade. Please rest assured.
No.
I appreciate the offer, but must refuse. We do not lack for strength.
Thank you.
Indeed. A great shame. Should the need arise, I shall remain ready to serve.
Certainly. By the way, Sir Gelgar, this outpost appears to consist of naught but soldiers. Where might all the other refugees reside?
They dwell beyond the Grandel ramparts, which lie below this point.
They live at a remove from you, then?
Yes, because of the Machina who live there.
What do you mean?
Might you have forgotten? When the war broke out, it was the Machina's treachery that lit the fuse. Were it not for them, we needn't have lost our brethren and our home.
You couldn't stand the Machina and thus moved away?
Precisely.
But the war is concluded, Sir Gelgar.
Some simply cannot let go so easily.
Melia, shall we go see for ourselves?
Ah, yes. Very well. Sir Gelgar, we will take our leave of you now.
Do please take care of yourselves. You'll find passage to the capital through the Cragmore Caverns.
Sir Gelgar, thanks for this.
See you friend later. Please to be extra careful of self.
The same to you all.
Yeah, I don't think I need to hide this. I hate Gelgar. He's legitimately the worst character in the entire franchise. And probably one of my, in my opinion, one of the worst characters in all of fiction. And I think it's pretty friggin' obvious why. I don't think I need to go into any detail. I don't want to talk about him any more than I have to. Anyways, visiting shops and accepting quests. Same as the base game. And right off the bat, I want to do this quest. Hello there. No, I need to do that again. Hello there. General Kenobi, how would you feel about assisting me in my research? It's an easy test, I swear. I'll take the grimace as happily, ma'am, shall I? See, I developed this tool for exploiting ether deposits, a common ether pick, if you will. You're still looking uncertain. Struck dumb by my apparent genius? Oh, of course. You're used to being able to mine ether deposits on the Bionis with run-of-the-mill tools, aren't you? Well, that won't work here on the Bionis shoulder. The deposits are too dense, so you'll need a specialized implement, i.e. this. Previous iterations of the ether pick were pretty heavy machinery, though, requiring training and a license to operate. So they cut through the rigmarole. I looked into developing one that even lay people like you could use right up from off. If you prove me right, I'll even let you keep it once you're done. Ether exploitation. Oh, you do it? That's just grand. I used to have an assistant helping me, but they seemed dissatisfied for some reason and ran off before I knew it. Just moseying up to an ether deposit, have the common ether pick, and use it to give the deposit a good whack. Alright, let's give it a whack. No time like the present. Well, that didn't sound too good. Broken ether pick. What? What just happened?
Hey.
Thanks for that. I have to say, I didn't expect it to break so easily, though. Right? Give it here for a minute. I see. So the problem is durability. Next time I won't use gold, next time diamond. It seems it crystallizes into a form that's perfect for gems. Just reinforcing the pick isn't likely to improve the yield in practice. Thank you all. Alright. So now we get a ether pick. And one thing that I'm not entirely sure if I like better or worse. Basically, in the original, wow, the voice crack. In the base game, you had to basically crystallize, you had to refine the gems. Like, you had to refine a bunch of the ether deposits and create the gems yourself, or you do side quests. Well, here, they streamlined it. Now you just straight up get the gems from the deposits themselves. I kind of like this, but on the other hand, it does mean that it is complete random chance what you get. Like, that deposit can drop stuff like HP up gems, it can drop the poison defense, but this time it just dropped a bunch of art seal stuff. Which, right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and put on to Nene here, since she is going to be our tank of the group. And I want her to revive, and I want her to have to recover as much HP as possible. And I'll give one to Shulk as well. Why not? And I'll get the last one to Melia. Why not? Sorry, Kino, you're gonna have to fall behind a little bit. But for now, let's just go ahead and explore a little bit and talk to several NPCs. Huh? Like Lenar here. Need something? No, I spoke too soon. Actually, I would like to ask you to perform some tasks for me. Received requests for assistance from some of the younger companions. So yeah, he's just gonna give us a bunch of these quests. To go and defeat a bunch of these enemies that lie around the Bionis shoulder. And that is actually something that I like about Xenoblade in general. The quests are nice and easy, and often a lot of them can be done on the way. And Future Connected is no exception. but the one thing that I recommend you do is pick up as many side quests as you can right as you enter a new area. So that way you can just do the quest passively and it saves a lot of time rather than going back and forth. Again, one of my biggest mistakes when making the videos for the base game was I would often just do a quest, go do that, turn it in, and then move on to the next one, and I felt like that took up a lot more time than I think it was needed. I think part of that might have been because I wanted to try and streamline the videos a little bit and keep them focused on like one quest at a time, but honestly, this is the most efficient way to do it. Anyways, more quests. And let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's in the shop.
Hi there.
Hi there. Okay, so looks like this official staff is a little better than the World Ender. We do lose a little bit of critical hit, but I think that's worth it. Seed Blammer, all improvement. I'm definitely taking that. And I don't have that much money. Dang it. Other than that, there is equipment for basically in Future Connected. Armor is divided up into 3. There's the medium and there's the usual armor that's tailor-made for Shulk and Melia. But then there are specific armor pieces that are exclusive to Kino and ones that are exclusive to Nene. And this is true across everything in the game. Again, I'm kind of split on this because on the one hand, we did kind of get that with Fiora in her Mechonis form. But I don't know. I feel like they made this work with Ricky before, so I don't know. Anyways, we're going to explore a little bit more around this area, including viewing this little quiet moment that's over here. Need Shulk and Nene for this one. So let's bring Shulk out in front, and let's view all grown up.
Brother, sister Pon. Hope they're not giving Mama Pon too much trouble buckets.
Nene, there you are.
Something the matter?
Kino's been looking for you. Something about stubbing his toe?
Little Pon never change. Nene will rub back later and go, there, there.
You're a good sister, Nene. Or maybe more like a mum. By the way, what were you doing out here, Nene?
Nene been reminiscing about Frontier Village, tiny bit.
I see. So, that's where you were living before?
Yep, in past, Nene always adventure into Magna Forest with brother sister Pon and climb trees every day.
I assume you were the responsible one then?
That silly question. Nopon boys all good for nothing lazy bones. It all too much for Mama Pon to handle, so Nene have to help take care of brother sister Pon and Dada Pon all full up.
I wonder what Ricky would have to say to that.
Dada Pon, after he'd chosen for Village Hero Pon and set off on great adventure with Mr. Shulk, house become total pigsty, hungry little Pon underfoot everywhere.
Wow, I had no idea. Wait, was this after Ricky joined us? So that must mean...
Yep, before Nene became friends with Mr. Shulk and friends here. We actually met 1 year ago, back in Frontier Village. Dada Pon, stomach rumbly rumbly. Dada Pon, need food. Dada Pon, give grab.
You're kidding? I'm sorry, I feel kind of bad about this now. Though, in my defense, you've really grown. It's almost like you're a whole different Nopon.
In Nopon biology, aged between 10 and 15 often experience growth spurt. That's why When compare Nene now and Nene 1 year ago, it not too surprising if not realize they the same person.
It's still quite a surprise. I never knew that a Nopon could grow that much in a single year.
Now Mr. Shog know can rely on post-growth spurt Nene more than ever.
We can always count on Nopon. Us Homs could learn a lot from you.
But Nene had these moments lately when get teeny bit lonely.
The dot eyes get me every time.
Ah, poor Hum, Mr. Shog, such chowhound.
I don't think that was me.
Nene prepared some grub, tooth sweet. Now, Mr. Shog, go call Kino and Miss Melia and tell to wash up.
Really, that's... We thought she was so grown up for always taking care of Kino. But really, she's just a kid. No wonder she's lonely.
Mr. Shog, something happened? Tell me too rumbly to move, or what?
Wait, I've got it.
Mama?
I'll round up all the others. Then after, we can all chip in with a meal. It'll be more fun that way.
Mr. Shog would not say no.
Once again, these little heart-to-heart things are so freaking precious. I love them so much. So let's go ahead and explore a little further down here. There's an ether deposit over here. Looks like an ice one, so probably not gonna get too many good ones. Slow 3, slow 2. Yeah, not particularly great. And over here is actually a significant area to the whole Xenoblade lore, because this is actually where Argalus found the Monado that allowed Xanza to take over him, and where the battle of the Mechonis against the Mechonis began. So, kind of neat. In fact, the Bionis shoulder was actually used a lot for cutscenes in the base game. Like, it was used for it was where Argalus and dang it, why am I blanking on his name? He's like one of my favorite characters from the base game. Come on. Egil. Finally. Took me a few minutes. It took me a minute. It's where Egil and Argalus had their conversation about like what lies beyond the Bionis and Mechonis. And it's also viewed where a lot of the Homs kind of were born from, like in that final cutscene of the base game. And like I kind of touched on a little bit, it is also a spot. This was also used as a test map for the base game in the Wii version. In fact, in the Wii version, you can still find it. If you hack the game, you can actually walk around in it. Granted, there's a lot of glitches involved in it, and you can actually cause the game to, I think, permanently crash, or at the very least, just regular crash, if you try to save in it. So, I probably wouldn't do it with him. So I probably wouldn't recommend doing it. Instead, just look up a video on what it looks like. In fact, Boundary Break actually did a really good episode talking about it and showcasing it. So that's what I would recommend doing. And also over here is a red item orb. Pororo's favorite. Definitely want to be on the lookout for those. That's a really big collectible that I would recommend going out of your way to find. Oh, there's a... Oh, Wind Nebula. That's actually one of the things we needed for a quest. And there's another Machina Ansel here. So I'll go ahead and fight this thing, and then I'll meet you after I defeat that one wind nebula over there. Alright. Actually, a really close fight, honestly. I actually almost died. Like I said before, Future Connected is actually significantly harder because there's no, like, skill trees that make a lot of the combat a little easier. And like I said before, there's not really much of a passive healing, so because of that, you kind of need to rely on Kino. And no visions means you can't really predict a lot of enemy attack patterns, which does make things a little harder. Like, even though you start at level 60, it really does feel like you're at the beginning of the game. The beginning of the base game, where you had like nothing, and combat was super hard. Then again, you do have access to Monado armor right from the get-go, so I guess it's not all bad. Okay. Stays a little bit more. Slit edge, air slash. I'll go over how Nene and Kino fight a little bit later, but remember that line of where Shulk was like, "It's like watching Shala and Ryan fighting again." That line is no coincidence. I'll just say that right now. For now, let's just defeat this Wind Nebula. Wind Burst. Oh! And no treasure chest, so we get nothing. Well, that sucks. Let's see. Just need to defeat one more Wind Nebula and 3 Aqua Nebulas. 4 Iron X Hearts. Plump Wild Grass. Okay. It's not bad. Set that the current so we don't have to see every side quest. And I think now's a good time, Zeddy, to end things. So, next time on Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, we continue to do side quests around Companion Escape, and then we make our way to the transporter to go to Alchemoth. See you guys then.